Hello, everybody. It is Some Type of Artist, and today I have Sonic Adventure 2 for your viewing pleasure or displeasure because it's the greatest and worst game in the world, apparently, depending on who you ask. I love it, and today I have a special guest here today, and he likes it enough too. His
I
name.
don't like to casually throw around the word masterpiece, but it's
But
pretty close.
I don't like to. I mean,
Although,
I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but let's just say it should be framed in a museum somewhere. But everybody, this
it's
is
fun.
if you've seen any of my Let's Plays before this, this is my friend Chris that I mentioned from time to time. And since we're both pretty big Sonic fans, and Sonic Adventure 2 is a kind of big game for both of us in terms of growing up with, I figured why not do it together?
Indeed.
I haven't done a Let's Play since the Katamari Damacy Let's Play from a while ago in early 2019. Long story short, my computer broke. I got a new computer. My capture card didn't work with the new computer. I got discouraged, and then a lot of time went by until I realized, hey, I could record games on this new gaming PC that I bought. So, you know, Sonic Adventure 2 seems like a pretty good game to test this gaming PC out on.
The best.
So that's what we're doing. So yeah, Chris, Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
What are your
I love it.
Yeah.
I love this opening scene. This is like one of my favorite opening scenes in like any Sonic game. It's
Yeah.
just like so cool where he just is like, no in-flight movie. He's like, this place sucks, and then he like rips off a piece of the helicopter and just like jumps down into not San Francisco.
It's that instrumental version of Sonic's theme that I really like about it, because I really like Sonic's theme a lot. It's very inspirational. Albeit really cheesy, but still, I remember when I was younger, the lyrics just kind of made me feel more confident and positive and ready to tackle the day. I had the GameCube in my room growing up, and I mean that was when I first played this. I didn't grow up with a Dreamcast or anything. My first exposure to Sonic Adventure 2 was on GameCube, but anyway, that's beside the point. So I would listen to some of the soundtrack and the sound tests while getting ready for school in the morning, and I used to play that song a lot. And I don't know, it's always just been a nice uplifting song, and I don't know, it's a good way to start the game out. The game starts out just really well with a lot of, I don't want to say in-your-face action and attitude, but I mean, it leaves a good impression on you. Well, it leaves a good impression on me. I mean, I don't know, like I said.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure 2, depending on who you ask, is a great or a terrible game, but...
Well, I think there's like a coolness to like the early 3D Sonic games that like, as like cynical adults, I think a lot of people like to make fun of it because it's like cheesy, but I don't know, like, these games, they're made for like kids, like probably like, 12 to like 15 age was probably like the prime audience for this. And even as an adult, there are things in this game that I do think are like corny, but I do think it is like still kind of cool. Like all the music is really cool. Like I've heard like a lot of people refer to music as 90s butt rock, but
it's funny you should mention that,
care.
because even when the game came out, I remember a kid on my bowling team giving me crap about liking the game because he read a review in a gaming magazine that Sonic Adventure 2 just had a bunch of dated 90s music, and I don't know. I don't really hear anybody really complaining about Sonic Adventure 2's soundtrack, to be honest. I mean, I'll see people fight to the death over which is better, Adventure 1 or 2's soundtrack, but I don't ever hear anyone say, its music is bad. It usually gets... if there's one thing Sonic usually gets consistent praise on, it's the music, and that's something I can usually agree with.
But yeah, this is when they kind of like really... I think they really started to nail like the Sonic like 3D look. You know, he looks slightly modified from like Sonic Adventure. Like, you know, his quills are just a little bit longer. He just
Yeah.
looks a little bit cooler. You know,
They
like
they got a
everything
they
is
got a
way
like a
better.
they got a lengthier, lankier kind of look to them. I know that's also a
Yeah.
sticking point. And I mean, I like classic Sonic's look. I like the Sonic's look. I'm usually fine with whatever look they give people, except I do prefer Amy Rose's Sonic CD design over her modern design. But that's the only real
Yeah.
problem I have. But um, I don't know, just the
It's
artwork,
big for-
just the artwork too. I mean, really stood out with me at the time because that was at a time when I was really liking that kind of like Invader Zim thick outline kind of thing, and Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2's artwork, you know, had characters and these cool poses. It kind of looked rounded in general, and it had
Yeah.
nice, cool, thick outlines. I don't know, it was cool. I still think it's cool. It's
It
something
is cool.
it's something I wish more games did today, having actual 2D artwork instead of just like the 3D models.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of games do. And I've noticed recently, you know, there's no guidebooks anymore, but I've noticed at least for larger budget games, they're starting to release like art books more often. So I would love to get like, you know, maybe Sega to release some sort of like Sonic adventure like art book between the two games.
I would
'Cause
just love
I'm sure there's like a lot of cool stuff like that
I would love
they
like
haven't
just a
released in
Sonic
public.
like history of art book, or just like looks at all the art throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
Because you know there is like a lot of cool art for the Genesis games, and there's a lot of cool art for well, I don't know if it's cool, but I do find a certain charm to that kind of dated 3D modeling rendering kind of thing that you would see in things like Sonic
Yeah.
3D Blast, or I don't know if anyone's ever seen the official Donkey Kong Country artwork, but stuff like that just always kind of takes me back a little bit. It's just interesting to see how games kind of present their artwork as time goes by.
Man, the epicness. Oh man,
Starts with this, a jewel containing the
Yeah.
ultimate power. Well, okay. I've got a pretty bad habit of just quoting entire scenes from Sonic Adventure 2 at random, and I'm gonna try not to do it here, but I don't know.
Know it too well.
It gets hard sometimes because I really just want to just recite the scene, but I'll hold my tongue
Hey,
for now.
hedgehog.
Uh,
So good.
So Shadow the Hedgehog. What are your thoughts on Mr. Shadow the Hedgehog, Mr. Hiseo the Hedgehog?
There are times where I go from thinking he's like ridiculously stupid to being like he's also like awesome. Like at the end of the day, it really is just like a color swap of Sonic with like different quills.
Well, I think that those quills are part of the defining thing with him, because it would be easy
Yeah.
just to make him a black and red Sonic, but I mean, he's got the different shoes, he's
Yeah.
got the, like, I don't know, I don't want to say chest hair, but whatever that white tuft of hair on the front of him is, and he's got the quills that go upward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Shadow a lot. Particularly in this game, I don't always care for how he's portrayed in other games, as hilarious as it can
Yeah.
be. I mean, Shadow the Hedgehog, I mean, everyone knows it's awful, but I do get a pretty fun, guilty pleasure of playing through it and poking fun at just all of the plot in it. But it's not
I do
exactly
think there are moments in that game that are legitimately cool.
really
but-
like what.
Yeah, like I don't know, like there's like a cool energy to that game that I think like a lot of people like to like laugh at it because of how like ridiculous it is. But like I don't know, like it is ridiculous. But
Oh, it
you know,
is.
Sonic has like a coolness to me. Like even though like yeah, Shadow's like holding guns and he's like super edgelordy in that game, like I do think it's like fun and yeah, I like some of like the cutscenes. Like I like the opening like you know movie of that game where they're playing that All Hail Shadow the Hedgehog song. It's corny, but it's cool too.
I don't think it's all hail Shadow, but yeah, the opening. I don't know. If you just take the context of how fucking stupid it is for a Sonic game out, it is a good song. It does have good visuals to go along with it, and but I don't know. It's been a long time since I've given that game a decent playthrough. Usually, whenever I would put it in, I'd just do a straight neutral run. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Since that story is so freaking disjointed, it's hard for me to pull any specific things out except for like the ones that always play, like the gun commander overreacting, and it's hilarious, and the president and his like size 15 feet in his office, and he looks at the photo of Sonic and Shadow on the desk.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm gonna agree the story is dumb, but like I do like some of the in that game.
I mean, the gameplay, I think, for the most part, is fine. I would like for Shadow not to be so slippery, but, I mean, for as stupid as it is, I do think the guns play more or less okay, and I'd much rather be using the guns against enemies with health bars in that game than doing whatever the hell you're doing in Sonic Heroes with the enemies with the big health bars.
Whoa, you got those fast, man.
I did get those fast.
That was pretty good.
You might be surprised because many people claim these missions take 10 minutes plus, but they don't.
Only one does. Only one does, I think.
I think a common complaint is you have to be familiar with the level, and if that's when you're reading the hints. But I mean, Knuckles and Rouge are both just as fast as Shadow and Sonic. Their levels aren't really terribly huge most of the time. I don't know. I don't get why people have a problem just running around the level and looking for a chime, but I mean, whatever. We can talk about that more in a future treasure hunting level, because I have
Tails in the Tornado 3.
Doesn't matter. I have to help Amy because she's in danger. I can't get over this scene with Tails. Like, again, I love the scene because Tails' song is a really good song too. But this Tails is just monologuing or expositioning the shit out of his plane. It's like like, who's he talking to?
You need to know because the tornado crashed in Sonic Adventure.
He's given like this huge update on the situation to like no one, and it's so the older I get, the more it stands out to me, just because of how much I'm taught about like how to avoid exposition, and Tails just walks into the story where it's like, that must be Prison Island. It's a secret military facility. Blah 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 blah. It's like, I don't know. Eggman does the same thing when you start with him. To be honest, except Eggman has the benefit of making explosions all over the place and seeming kind of legitimately badass in his intro to stage 1 of the Dark Side story.
I think the Dark Side story has a lot more cutscenes than I think the Hero Side.
Yeah, the Dark Side story is definitely. I feel like when people are talking about the plot in Sonic Adventure 2, they are referring to the Dark Side story, because it's nothing against the Hero Side, but the Dark Side is definitely more interesting. It's got the 2 new characters in the game. It's got a better. I feel like it tells the story better. There's a lot more quieter moments where people are conversing with each other. I don't know. I would almost say start with the Dark Side story if you've never played Sonic Adventure 2 before, but I feel like all those moments you wondered, like, how did we get here in this Hero Side story? Just finding that out when you play Dark Side afterwards.
Not start with the Dark Side story, because the levels are not as fun. Like, I don't think the Dark Side story gets fun until like you get to like Radical Highway, and then like you're like, oh, this is awesome. But then like I think you have to play a Rouge level right after that.
Dude, I love not to jump the gun, but I love Eggman's first level. I love how all those doors constantly lock and how you keep going further and further, and the voice over the intercom is like, level 1 security door breach, level 2 security, and it just keeps going up and up and up. It's just, I don't know, I love his first level.
Like, Eggman's first level is a lot like this level. That,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, it's
kind of the same thing, because it's a gun facility.
Yeah. But in Rouge's level, I mean, I used to not be a huge fan of Rouge's levels. I've warmed up to them more recently.
Yeah.
But her first level, I have always liked. So I don't mind it being there.
Yeah.
I think it's got like the only. I don't know. It might be the only level I actually really like Rouge's stage music for too, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Levels are easier than Knuckles.
Wow, really?
Levels.
I think it's the exact opposite.
I had a real hard time with you know, the moon level with Knuckles. You know, my last playthrough.
Yeah.
I was like, geez, like this takes forever. But like with Rouge, I got through like her levels with like no problem. And maybe it was just I played the hero side first and, you know, reacclimated to the game by then.
That's interesting, because I have the exact opposite problem. I think Rouge's levels are harder. Because Rouge has like the worst version of Death Chamber with that annoying beetle flying around every 2 seconds. And she's got the one mission where she has to get the 3 Chaos Emeralds in under 5 minutes, which nowadays isn't really that big of a problem for me, but back in the day, I sucked at it so bad. And I've always hated Mad Space, and still do to this day. I do think that's... For the most part, I think a lot of the levels in this game are fun still, but I've always, and probably will always, hate Mad Space. Even if I'm better at it now, it's just not a fun level to travel through. I prefer Meteor Herd like 10 times over Mad Space.
Yeah. To be fair, most of the rankings I got playing the game were like E with Rouge, but
like that. I think that's another thing I should be upfront about now in terms of any kind of praise I have to give the game. I also, I mean, we played the game a lot when we were younger, and I went and did all the A rank missions throughout high school, and we both continued to come back to this game many times throughout the years. So, I don't know. We'd always get rusty, but I think, you know, we've always still been very familiar with the game and some of its unpleasantries new people might have to get used to. But, speaking of which, did we do the intro to how we got into the game? I think we started to and then got sidetracked. I got into Sonic Adventure 2 when I was 8th grade at middle school. It was one of the first games I got for GameCube. It was like the winter after the Christmas I got my GameCube. And at that point in time, I hadn't really done much with Sonic because Sonic was on... we just had the Genesis games at the time, and they were in the family room. And at one point or another, it just got disconnected, and I didn't really know how to put it back. And I didn't really go too much into it because shortly after, I got my own TV in my room, and I had a Nintendo 64, and I was kind of more preoccupied with that. So, you know, throughout middle school, I wasn't really doing too much with Sonic, and so Sonic Adventure 2 was kind of my like reintroduction to, you know, what he's been up to since I last left off with him in Sonic 3 and Knuckles or Sonic 3D Blast or whatever the last game I got for Genesis was. And I fell in love with the game instantly, and it was just, I don't know, incredible gaming experience for me back in the day, and has still been fun for me to go back to over and over. You there, Chris? Uh-oh. Did we lose Chris? I hear clickies. I hear clicking sounds. You there? I don't know if he's there. So, how is everybody doing today? I hope you're all staying safe out there and doing stuff. We're in Metal Harbor now. Metal Harbor is one of my favorite Sonic stages. I feel like a lot of people really like Metal Harbor in general, at least for casual playthroughs, because further along, to get the A rank, you have to do something really obnoxious, and I try to do it here, and because something I was thinking about earlier was when I was doing City Escape earlier, I missed the beginning jumps for the snowboard, and that was like the easiest thing in the world for me, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't even do those jumps. So I thought, hey, you know, to redeem myself, I'll just do Metal Harbor and do the freaking rocket thing, and I screwed up immediately and couldn't even decide if I was going to go for it or not. That's why instead of doing the normal thing that I'm about to do, where I just jump to this side spring here, I just go all over the self. Go all over the place, I should say. Oh, is that Chris getting me back? I think I dropped him on Discord. Is he there? Chris, you there? Oh, he's frozen. Uh-oh. Well, we have a couple more minutes in the video, so I guess it's just going to be me for the last couple minutes, unless Chris somehow gets back. But anyway, so yeah, I failed to do this many, many times. To be fair, I was never great at this. It took a lot of practice before I could do this regularly, and yeah, the years gone by without me really doing anything with it. So, whoops. So I try to do it until I have like 1 life left, and then I'm just like, whatever, I don't care. But yeah, that was my beginning with Sonic Adventure 2, and I still remember the Nintendo Power magazine that came out when it was being introduced to me. It had Sonic on the cover, and there was like this big section inside talking about Sonic, like for Nintendo gamers that weren't really sure about him. And there was a nice Nintendo Power used to have posters inside each of their issues, and I used to hang a lot of them up in my room, and that one was up for like a long time, but unfortunately I no longer have it. And I kind of wish I did, because I would love a Sonic Adventure 2 poster hanging up in my room, and well, I don't know, I guess it wouldn't be so hard to go find one. I'm sure there's something somewhere, or at the very least I can have one printed out at Staples or something, but yeah. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yeah, and I said screw it. Screw it. It's just for the A rank mission anyway. Up we go into space. I wonder what Sonic would do here if he just held on. He can just get to the Death Egg, or not the Death Egg, but the Ark instead. Yeah, when I was a kid, I never got any of these. I didn't realize you had to jump for them. That was a pain. And I don't know, I always like this little riff here at the end of Metal Harbor. Yes! In fact, I wish you could listen to it more, but well, you can in the sound test, I think, but I don't know, Metal Harbor has really good music. It's a really fun stage. Well, I think a lot of people, even though they aren't very big on Sonic Adventure 2, will agree Sonic and Shadow stages are still pretty fun. But that's gonna have to, we're gonna have that discussion another time. So thank you all for watching the first episode of this new Let's Play that I'm doing. I know it's been kind of a mess because I'm out of practice, and Chris got lost in the call. In between videos, I'm gonna see if I can kind of fix this. So I will see you all later. Bye-bye.